795, do some put contracts here. Yes, but there might be a little dip buy up to like 813 first. It looks like we're about to test the low of the day. It's another $210. $210 profit. SMCI, crack all the way towards 800, start falling back on down towards, 790. Traders, we got a big day ahead. A lot of money to be made in the markets. Lots of opportunity out there. But all we know is every single day we're giving our 100%. We're bringing the energy, making it high, making it exciting, and going to be having ourselves an absolute huge opportunity ahead of us today. So let's get ready to break it on down. What we have at this time, it's all about the S&P 500. Every single trader is going to be watching the S&P 500 today and saying what is about to happen next. So I'm going to make this very simple, very easy right now. I'm going to tell you guys exactly what to do. Does that sound like an easy plan? What we have is we have a basket of the top 500 companies in the United States. That's what the S&P 500 is. It is a basket of the top 500 companies. Now, we could see that this basket has fallen the last 6 days in a row. Red day, red day, red day, red day, red day. Now that is the largest red stretch that we have had probably since early October. Early October, we had a very nice red stretch. And then it's been a lot of green, a little red, a lot of green, a little red, a lot of green, a little red. Now, what is going on in this market? Why are we falling so hard? Well, traders, I don't know if you guys read some CNBC this morning, but the feds are actually stating that we may not have any rate cuts this year. Shocking. Traders, haven't I been saying that since September? I said in September that I think that we have a maximum of 1 rate cut this whole entire year. And we were like, no, Deck, they said that we're going to do 4, 5, 6 rate cuts. I said, nope, they're not going to do that. And now they have stated that they are now only looking for maybe 1 rate cut in September, and that's it. I honestly think we have a better chance of actually raising rates again than we do of actually cutting rates anytime soon. The thing is, the S&P 500 is starting to turn and fall because inflation is creeping its way back on up. Yes, guys, even after raising rates 12 times in 2022 and throughout 2023, we are again still rising in inflation. S&P 500 traders are now starting to have fear. They're saying inflation is still coming. We're not cutting rates. This is not good. We also have attacks over on the Middle East with Israel and Iran. There's conflict over there. We're seeing oil move on up. There's a lot of things happening in the market and the global economy at this moment, which is why the S&P 500 is falling. But the most beautiful thing about day trading, the most beautiful thing that we could say about, okay, let's wake up here and figure out what's going to happen is we don't got to figure out what's going to happen next week. I don't have to figure out what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't need to figure out what's going to happen in 6 months from now. All I need to figure out is today, when I jump in on the S&P 500, is it going to go up or is the S&P 500 going to go down? That's all I got to figure out today. Very simple, very easy. When I invest into the market, when I click that buy button, will the SPY move up or will it move on down? And this is what we want to figure out. So first thing that I'm going to say is after having 6 red days in a row, I definitely think buyers have an opportunity to move back in. So let's check one off for dip buying today. There's one reason that I definitely think buyers are going to have a great opportunity because we've had 6 red days in a row. And now I do think that, a lot of buyers are going to say, hey, this isn't a fantastic dip buy price. This is a fantastic area for us to be able to get filled, to be able to start seeing some movement towards the upside. So I definitely want to be able to say that. Another reason on why buyers may be moving on in is if we can get back above 500. 500 is supposed to be a very strong support line. If you guys were not here yesterday, we made everyone money. And how did we make everyone money yesterday? It's from getting in on this very first dip buy off of 500 yesterday. Yesterday, I was able to make over $770 in profit. We waited for the morning crash to 500. We jumped in at 500 and then the stock ran all the way up to 504. As you can see, we had this big collapse and big drop all the way back on down. And right now at this moment, we are currently sitting right around 499. So 500 is actually holding up as a little bit of resistance. So is the SPY going to get back above 500? Is the SPY going to be able to spike on up after having 6 red days in a row? And if so, how high can the S&P 500 go up or how low can the S&P 500 fall down? There's a lot of things that we need to think about. So let me again give you my game plan right now. I posted it over on Twitter this morning and I want you guys to see exactly what's going on with my game plan setup. So the big question will be, will there be a bounce on the SPY or will there be more blood in the water? That is the very hard question to answer, and not one person here can say with 100% certainty what will happen next. No one can predict the future. So that's what I just wanted to start off with at this moment. Are we going to bounce? Are we going to crash? Unfortunately, I can't give you a 100% certain answer, but I can do the next best thing, which is going to be, let's have the odds play in our favor. What is most likely to happen? What are the best chances to happen? So what I see here is this is the next best thing. Study support and resistance. The way I see it, we have 2 options. Number 1, wait for a spike up to 501.50 and then look for a put contract as it hits its downtrend, which is held the past 7 days. So for anyone who has not noticed, you guys can go into a 30-minute time frame. And if you go into a 30-minute time frame, you can connect these tops. And all of these tops are going to be in line and line up with today a 501.50. So if anyone is interested in doing a put contract, the best opportunity would be a spike right off the bell. Buyers move on in, we hit 501.50 and we get a reversal from there. You can see we hit the downtrend once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Today would be the 5th time that we hit our downtrend. That could lead towards a nice reversal back on down here. What's the other option? The other option is to wait for it to fall on down towards around 497, 496.50, and then get ready for a dip buy at brand new lows. Getting in at brand new lows after 6 days of falling, I think would be an amazing opportunity to be able to make money right off the rip here. I know a lot of traders always want to do something, and what is that? They want to buy right when the market opens. We want to buy right when the market opens. We want to buy right when the stock market opens, and we want to nail that money within the first 5 to 10 minutes. Traders, let me tell you, when you can do that, it is an amazing feeling. It's an amazing feeling when the market opens up at 9:30 and you jump in and boom, you make that big time money. You make that big time cash. You see that the S&P 500 spikes right on up to 501.50 and you've gone from 499 right on up to 501.50 and you're already done on the day. But traders, it is a little bit of a 50-50. Is there a chance that we spike right on up to 501.50 right at the start? Absolutely. And if you want to jump in on calls, that's a great way to make money. Or you can wait until we get to 501.50 and then do puts. Or Deck, what if I want to do a put contract right at the start of the day and we dump on down towards, some pre-market lows and we go all the way down towards 496, 497? We could get a $3 drop. And I definitely understand that. But the smarter thing to do is always wait. Wait for support to hit where you could see bounce play, bounce play, bounce play, bounce play, bounce play, and then again be able to move on up. Or again, wait for resistance to hit where we know we get rejected, rejected, rejected. Traders, you will make more money in the market if you buy at support and you do puts at resistance rather than always looking for a breakout at resistance and a sell off through support. That's taking me time for me to realize and for me to change my bad habit. My bad habit used to be this. Let's say we have a downtrend, just like we have today on the S&P 500. My habit would be that I see the S&P 500 hit this trend line multiple times, and then I would say, hey, I'm looking for a breakout here. I'm looking for a breakout. I'm looking for the big rip and run on the next leg on up, and I'm going to enter right here. And then 99% of the time, what ends up happening? 99% of the time, the stock just moves itself on up towards the resistance line, and then it comes crashing right back on down. And then I say, all right, guess what? I'm going to look for the breakout now. And I jump in, as you guys can imagine, right here. And I'm looking for that monster spike and that monster rip and run. But as you guys know, what usually happens? It hits resistance and it just comes crashing right back on down. I would rather stay within the channel. Look for dip buys near the bottom areas where we know we have great areas for opportunities to move on up. And I would rather look for puts at the top areas where we could easily fade and fall back on down. Yes, I understand. When you nail a big time spike in the next leg on up, that feels great. And when you nail the next leg on down, that feels fantastic as well. But most of the time, we're gonna bounce, reject, bounce, reject, bounce, reject, bounce, reject. So the thing is, if I could get a bounce play somewhere down near around 497 today, where it bounced once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, I'm gonna assume that it's going to be able to bounce somewhere in the 9th time, over on the S&P 500. If I switch over to that 30-minute time frame, and I could see that we've been rejected before 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, I'm gonna assume that we're going to get rejected again around the 7th time here. So the thing is, the S&P 500, I don't want to kind of play the middle area and hope that I'm correct, and I don't want to be playing hoping that we get a breakout whenever I buy into it, or hope we get a sell-off if I do puts on it. I'd rather dip by the bottoms, put contracts to highs. That's the best way that I see fit. Now, again, the perfect game plan on today would be if we can crack on down and start getting weaker. An easy way to know that we will be finding some sort of bottom is by taking a look over on the daily chart. The number one way to know that a stock is finding some sort of bottom here is just by stating what? Looking for those lower shadows. When we have those lower shadows and we have those opportunities to profit, that's where you guys can make money. So do you guys realize that whenever we do have a dip buy, like right here, we have a dip, look at that lower shadow. Here we have a dip, lower shadow. Right here we have a dip, lower shadow. Right here we had a dip, lower shadow, lower shadow, lower shadow. The lower shadows usually indicate that we have fallen, and then there's enough buyers to push it back on up, and then you could see green candles follow. We haven't really had that nice lower shadow just yet, have we? I don't really see it. So I would like to see a morning collapse here on the S&P 500. Fall down to 496, 497, then work itself back up to 500. That'll show that we now have that lower shadow and that a reversal has a much better chance of coming up in the future here. So right now, S&P 500 starting to fade all the way back on down here. Guys, it looks like we are dumping on down towards that new low. 498.50 coming on up here. ARM getting weaker as well. Yep, all AI plays. place. Doesn't matter if it's ARM. Everyone take a look at the daily charts. ARM fading on off. SMCI fading on off. Guys, SMCI is tanking. Take a look. NVDA probably going to start fading on off here pretty soon. All of these plays are getting destroyed at this time. Anyone think about jumping on maybe a put contract over on SMCI? Just see SMCI just keep getting weaker and weaker and weaker. I'm thinking about maybe a put contract on SMCI and just say to ourselves, hey guys, how much lower can SMCI go today? SMCI, crack all the way towards 800, start falling back on down towards, 790, 795, do some put contracts here. I'm going to enter SMCI first little trade here, go on some puts on SMCI. I want to see if SMCI is going to be able to fade back on down. See if we can fade and get a little drop. I mean, it's just been fading and falling, and I just want to see if we're going to be able to continue to fade and fall. We're down right now $127, and it seems like SMCI is only getting weaker at this moment. So I want to see if this can crack through 800 and drop like another 10 bucks. So guys, we are getting weaker. Guys, look at this. SMCI. Let's see if we can crack 800 here. Crack 800, keep on fading and falling. Guys, SMCI cracking 800. Now we're up $600 almost. Let's see if we can crack 800. Come on. We had a low of the day at 800 so far. Can we crack underneath 800 and keep selling off even more? A little bit of a bounce play right there. Dang it. Just hit 800, had its first little dip buy at that moment. Do I think it's going to crack $800 again? Yes, but there might be a little dip buy up to like 813 first. Can we get that $800 crack and get ourselves into the green? We're coming back on down towards 800. Let's see if we can crack 800. I would like to see that 790, 785 mark. Guys, we're back in the green now. Let's see if we can get that $800 sell off. Come on, give us that $800 sell off if we can get it. Come on, give us that dump here, SMCI. Underneath 800. Drop, SMCI. Drop. Just keep on dropping, SMCI. Keep on dropping. All right, guys, I'm out. Oh, heads on up. SPY still starting to turn back on down. SPY still looking pretty weak right here. We're coming on down towards the low of the day right now. It looks like we're about to test the low of the day. I'm going to jump in quick little scalp looking for a brand new low of the day. So I want to see, can we be able to crack back underneath and go on down towards a low of the day area? Go back on down towards 497.60 is the goal. 497.60, 497.50, be able to get filled, get a nice drop, put myself up another $200 here. Let's see if we can make it happen. We're starting to go into the green here. Let's see if we can make another $225, guys, up 150, 165, 195, 255, new low of the day, lock in profits. It's another $210. $210 profit. $1,500 day. Come on, give us that $800 sell off if we can get it. Yes, but there might be a little dip buy up to like 813 first. We're coming on down towards the low of the day right now. We're starting to go into the green here.